Good morning. We apologize for starting the program late. This was due to some technical challenges. However, we are back with the breakfast show, Thursday edition, governance and policy, with me, Patrick Soko, and my co-host, Shalon Karimbula. We will be with you up to the hour of 9.
Indeed, Patrick, we are not going to talk much this during the beginning of the show. We'll just go straight into the health corner, and when we come back, we'll be chatting with you. Remember, this is a show you can call us live in studio, and you can send us those text messages. We love hearing from you. We love to read your English, your text messages, and the topic that we are discussing this morning is scrolling on your screens. Thank you so much for choosing us. Let's look at the health corner, and thereafter we continue this morning's conversation.
Good morning, viewers. This is your doctor, Dr. Kakumsin Pongwe, Assistant Director, Adolescent Health, working from the Ministry of Health. I come from the Medical Women Association of Zambia. This week we've been talking about adolescent health, and yesterday we talked about adolescent health services in Zambia. So we talked about how the ministry is training health workers to provide health services that respond to the needs of young people or adolescents. We also talked about working with peer educators who are adolescents trained to disseminate information to their fellow adolescents. And we also talked about development of materials that help increase knowledge levels of adolescents in various health issues. And we also mentioned that we are not just using one form of channel of communication. We use written materials, television, radio, and social media. So today we'll continue talking about a similar topic. We want to discuss how adolescents or young people can participate in health programs. So as you earlier on heard, we have groups that exist at selected health facilities which young people can be part of. So young people can decide to participate in activities organized by peer educators so that they learn more about health issues and also educate others who don't have that privilege to be part of that group. We are also encouraging in-school adolescents to join and form clubs that talk about health issues affecting young people, so that together they can encourage each other, how they can stay away from risky behaviors, how they can sustain good behavior, and how they can also safeguard their health. Then we also have in some religious settings where there are youth groups, I think young people can also participate, join those groups, participate and learn one or two things on how they can avoid risky behavior and also enlighten themselves in terms of health issues. We also encourage young people to be part of what is happening at clinics. All health clinics have what they call activity plans, a lineup of activities that they intend to undertake in the communities that they serve. So we are encouraging young people living in communities where there are health facilities to engage the health centers so that they can add a voice to what activities targeting young people can be included in the plans that health facilities have to serve the communities they are operating in. There are a number of health programs that take place in the communities. We also want young people to be involved, adolescents to sensitize their peers on what health issues are happening. Like now we have COVID-19. Young people can participate in sensitizing their peers, their friends, on what COVID is, the importance of getting vaccinated, and any other health problems, malaria and TB. So we want young people to add their voice to all the health programs that we are implementing in our communities, so that the information we would want to relay to young people is better understood, better packaged, especially if it's coming from young people who the audiences can relate to. So those are some of the activities young people can participate in. I'm also glad to announce that we have, through the Zambia helpline, some toll-free lines that young people can call, 116, 933 and 5600. These are helplines that are available. Young people can call without paying anything to find out about any health issues that affect them and where they can access services within the community they are calling from. So these are some of the things young people can participate in. Just to summarize again, we are saying young people can be part of peer educators groups that work hand in hand with health facilities to educate young people on health issues. They can also be part of school clubs or youth clubs, youth organizations in religious setting. They can participate in activities that clinics plan and undertake in the communities they live in. They can also make use of the toll-free lines 116, 933 and 5600 to obtain information on any health issues, and also to report any abuse happening within their homes and also in the community. Thank you so much for listening today. We'll continue tomorrow with another topic. Continue watching Camnet TV. Goodbye.
Welcome back. That's what the doctors have for us this morning. Remember, you can also call in and text us on the topics that you want the doctors to discuss. And also, we want to get feedback from you. How much of these messages from the doctors have helped you in your daily lives? Remember, these are just basics that the doctors give us. When you feel that you have persistent symptoms to what they've been giving you on a daily basis, you better visit the nearest health office, clinic or hospital, or see a doctor or anyone who can help you in the medical profession. However, that is what we are looking at this morning. Let's look at how the KWACHA is faring this morning. So the United States dollars is buying at 15 kwacha 17 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 01 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 17 kwacha 32 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 66 ngwe. The Euro is at 15 kwacha 23 ngwe and selling at 15 kwacha 53 ngwe. The South African Rand is been trading on this same rate at 0.86 and selling at 0.88 for quite a long time now, Patrick. I think 3 weeks it's been trading on that rate. And the KWACHA dollar is seemingly depreciating by the day.
Yes.
Yesterday, I think I saw a lot of screaming on social media to say, okay, now the KWACHA is a teenager. It's like 16. It's a sweet 16, you know, things like that. So I knew that, okay, the KWACHA has gone to 16 from the usual that it's been trading on around 15.
Yeah, so we need to bless ourselves. I think it's on an upward trajectory. If if I'm seeing the 16, yesterday it was 16 flat, but today it's 16 and 1. Tomorrow, the other day it will be 16 and 2.
Yes. And the buying power as well will also keep going high, and it will reach 16 as well. Because really, for me, a 15.70, it's already 16. I mean,
yes,
at least the basic math,
yes.
Round off.
So already it's going to 16 to go to 17. So again, it also tells us to say when it comes to the monthly review of fuel prices, well, it will be on an upward trajectory from now. It's likely to be on an upward trajectory up to when the KWACHA goes. I think the normal position of the KWACHA would be at 18, most likely. 18 or 19, trading at 18 or 19. So for now, we may be seeing an upward trajectory. But that's if I were not putting in place any measures. If we are putting any interventions there, probably we can manage to keep it within the same bandwidth. But if we do not, probably it may increase. But what I mean is that, what we need is to maximize on our production. So our trade portfolio indicates that we're not doing much in terms of exports, especially non-traditional exports. So if we maximize on non-traditional exports, then we can make a progress in terms of us earning foreign exchange that can stabilize the KWACHA. That's besides other interventions that the central bank is putting in place, as well as while we are working on the aspect of inflation and the monetary policy rate. So we are going to be monitoring it closely, because at the end of the day, it is the KWACHA that determines how we are going to be conducting our business and how we are going to stabilize the local economy.
Indeed, Patrick, before we move away from issues to do with business, let's look at this story where the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has expressed disappointment at the conduct of the new management at Chilanga Cement in Kafue district, which has employed foreign nationals without advertising the positions. According to reports, 63 Zambian employees have left the company in a short period of transition since the new Chinese management took over the company, and the positions have already been filled without them being advertised. Minister of Labour and Social Security Brenda Tambatamba, who inspected the company premises, says a number of red flags have been identified in the firm, and says she does not want the issues to escalate to industrial unrest. Meanwhile, Labour Commissioner Givens Montengwa says the ministry will write to the Immigration Department to avail the ministry with the details of the expatriates' failure, to which the ministry will invoke its power to ensure that the right people take the positions. This Kafue Chilanga Cement really is a big thing.
Yes.
Patrick.
And you know, Sharon,
you will not go to Dangote. You want to support your own. In the name of saying my own.
Chilanga now contaminated.
Exactly.
And looking at these issues pertaining to labor, they don't paint a good image of the institution that has stand the test of time, especially in the Zambian manufacturing sector. And
Chinese.
And the Chinese now are now involved. So everything. So look. I think the Chinese and their mode of operation, I think they need to just work on their mode of operation, because I don't think they've been doing the right things. If you look at it, Sharon, it is here on Camnet TV where we were airing a story where the Chinese ambassador was concerned about the negative publicity that they get, especially amongst their Chinese investors.
But this information is coming from the Ministry of Labour.
And he also stated that they won't condone any lawlessness, but that amounts to lawlessness. And how are they employing Sharon without advertising the positions?
The positions, you know.
And most of the people I know, Chilanga Cement has been in existence for a long time. Most Zambians are aware of the processes and how that thing works and everything. So it is not necessary for them to be bringing expatriates to come and do things that Zambians can do. We have engineers who are able to do these things and everything. So I don't think it is necessary for them to be bringing Chinese nationals to just come and take up jobs which Zambians can take. And we'll continue monitoring this story so that we see what sort of action the Minister of Labour, Madam Brenda Tambatamba, will undertake, considering that You know, the officials, the government officials equally have been accused of not doing enough
Exactly.
to safeguard the plight of workers in the country. So I think this presents an opportunity for us to just put in place.
To prove to us that indeed she can do something as a Minister of Labour and as a woman, really, to redeem ourselves. The previous Minister of Labour was neither here nor there. You know, she was basically ceremonial. For lack of a better term, I mean, she literally didn't do anything.
Because we saw a number of issues.
Yes.
Imagine.
And you know, the more reason why we are still recording such is because people got away with a lot of illegalities. It was normal because they had full support, full backing from somewhere, you know, without mentioning names. However, Patrick, we're hoping that Brenda Tamatamba does the needful and ensures that things are done accordingly, at least according to the rule of law, as President Haka in the Hichilema always insists to say we're doing everything according to the rule of law. And meanwhile, Patrick, the story we are riding with this morning, Opposition Patriotic Front Acting Secretary General Nixon Chilangwa has dragged the Electoral Commission of Zambia to the Constitutional Court for its decision to proceed by the by-election in KWACHA and KABUSHI constituencies before the final determination of matters scattered in various courts. Mr. Chilangwa has contended that ECZ has no mandate to proceed with conducting by-elections in the two respective constituencies before the Court of Appeal hears a ruling against the High Court to suspend the elections. The applicant further contains that there is nowhere in the Constitution where ECZ is given powers to bar candidates that have already lost their seats through nullifications. Let's look at this story, and when we come back, we want to hear from you. Good morning.
With only 10 days remaining till the people of KABUSHI and KWACHA constituency head to the polls, following a statement issued by the Electoral Commission of Zambia on the 11th of October 2022 that the by-elections will be held on the 21st of this month, the Opposition Patriotic Front have gone back to the Constitutional Court challenging the decision. The party, through its Secretary General Nixon Chilangwa, says it is contempt of court for ECZ to set the date of the by-elections for the two constituencies because the three matters relating to KABUSHI and KWACHA posed before the courts of law have not been concluded yet. Yesterday, the Commission issued a statement announcing the date of the by-elections in the two respective constituencies, despite the matter being active in court. Now, in an affidavit in support of originating summons filed before the Constitutional Court by Mr. Chilangwa, he explains that after ECZ rejected the nomination papers of their two adopted candidate, former KABUSHI Member of Parliament Mr. Boma Lusambo and his counterpart, former KWACHA Member of Parliament Joseph Malanji, they proceeded to the Constitutional Court, where it was ruled that a nullification did not mean disqualification of a candidate. The party then proceeded to the High Court, where they sought, among other reliefs, that the court orders ECZ to accept the nomination papers of Mr. Malanji and Lusambo, which then saw the High Court suspend the by-elections, which were supposed to be held on the 15th of September 2022. However, before a verdict was delivered, the state rushed to the Court of Appeal, staying all the proceedings before the High Court. The party now seeks the court's ruling on why ECZ, who is also part of the various matters that are before court, would decide to proceed with the by-elections before the final determination of the matter. For now, the party puts its hope in the court as it continues to fight so as to see its two adopted candidates, Mr. Malanji and Lusambo, on the ballot papers. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Thank you so much. As you know, as a ministry, our mandate is to administer the law, and the law tells us that whatever vacancy arises in an institution, the first thing that an institution must do is to advertise that job so that Zambians with the necessary or requisite skills and qualifications can apply. Only when Zambians do not possess those qualifications or skills should the employer now go across the borders and employ expatriate staff. So in this case already, we do not seem to have found evidence of those adverts, and as such, we have to ensure that the law is complied with. We write to immigration, we write to the company so that they avail us the necessary documents, failure to which we shall invoke our powers and ensure that those people vacate those positions and the due process of the law is followed and the right people take up the position. This is not in any way harassing the expatriates, so to say, but we are merely ensuring that the law is complied with. Until this law is amended for now, this is the law that we must respect. No one is above the law. No one must cry foul, because the law requires that Zambians must first be given that priority. So we are here to ensure that the law is administered. We are here to ensure that the law is respected. There is no sacred cow. There's no one above the law. We are also respecting of the law, and we also expect the company to respect the law. So what we are going to do is to ensure that the law is respected.
How do you print
Welcome back. You are watching the Camnet Breakfast Show, and we're zooming in two stories. There, one from the court where the Patriotic Front has taken legal action against the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, and the other one where the the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has taken a swipe at the Chilanga Cement, also known as they are the producers of Lafarge Cement. Is it, Sharon? The issue pertaining to that is the new management at the firm has started employing Chinese nationals who are being brought into the country, but to take over jobs which Zambians can equally take, but manage to do. And this has been a concern. This is not the only company that has been doing that. We also saw another cement company getting involved in similar activities. So, and the workers just alerted the ministry to say this is what is happening here. And most Zambians have lost jobs since the new management took over office. I think this has been this cause for concern. This is at the time when the United Party for National Development Administration seeks to create jobs, and the Zambians are losing jobs. So this is really something that we need to take serious as a country to ensure that investors comply with the rules and regulations of the country. If a Zambian investor goes to another country, I don't think they can be allowed to get entangled in such issues, even matters pertaining to lawlessness. I think this is something that we need to make sure that we pay attention to, so that we do not disadvantage ourselves as a country. So you too, our dear viewers, we are getting your views on the number that is on your screen pertaining to the issue where the PF has sued the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, for proceeding with the elections in KABUSHI and KWACHA constituencies, despite the ongoing court cases. And talking about court cases, there are quite a number of court cases that are before the court pertaining to the same elections. And but for now, what we have and what we know is that the Electoral Commission of Zambia is going ahead with the election on the 21st of October 2022. Sharon, you have to go and cover whether you like it or not. That's the elections will take place. But I will also put you on standby, because the ECZ of nowadays is unpredictable. So you may go there and do it.
Like yesterday, the conversation we had with Mr. Chipenzi is that elections have to be carried within 90 days. We have a call. Let's pick that and hear what our caller wants to say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Professor.
Professor.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead. Morning.
Thank you so much. I think I've got this issue to do with the Lafarge Cement.
Yes.
For me, I think I'm very disappointed with my brother. Muchemwa is a very good friend of mine. The one I dealt with the other time when I was trying to help the farmers at the Napsaland, which is at the just nothing from there. He's a very smart, very accommodating. But the problem which we have the Ministry of Labour, they like job here. Their job is to make sure that they are on the field. I think if there is a ministry where there are a lot of treatment of the Zambians, like just to throughout the country, not other Ministry of Labour. These guys, in fact, they are collapsing like just like ACC themselves. You see? But for me, I think they must pull up with what they are taught. And it's not something to do with the party there. I've done even my own work. If you have to go to the National Institute for Scientific and Industrial Research, the previous government of this, it is so shameful for the relatively happy that people with no verification, even like at the one of that local government by actual data there. People with no verification, there are people who are getting people actually that degree. So for me, I think it's outside that even the people who are in the final petitions of the government, they must seem to be that the constitution that governs their particular entity is acted as reality. They should not actually be intimidated to. So for me, I think Sandra, Tumutemba, and the minority, Tamba, Blenda, I know the hardworking ladies, I've always been with your home of the time, you really need a lot, but let them just pull up their work there. So, if you don't go to the Zambian, let them go to Zambia. You will never find the Zambians providing the Chinese. Moreover, it's that the way you offer find a time to do yourself.
Thank you so much. I totally agree with you somehow. You know, you find that sometimes, you know, that inferiority complex,
yes.
Where any light-skinned person, you think they're really doing a BMAC type. You know, you think BMAC is very intelligent.
Yes. So
you know, you actually start calling him boss even before you're told. Say, this man is your garden boy.
I think that's a problem. I think we had an encounter with such issues, and enough of us we said, you know, this is not a construction site. You want to do Zambiaka when
you won't.
If we know what we do.
Exactly.
So in fact, for now, you don't even know what you do. So you have to learn from us.
Learn from us.
So don't distract us.
Exactly. I think that's one of the problems that we have. You know, when we see a light-skinned person, we call them expatriates, when in the actual sense they are not even experts at anything apart from coming into the country illegally. You know, maybe they're experts at that. But then, like the ministry has promised, they will look into this matter and ensure that everything is done according to the way it's supposed to be done. Before that call, Patrick, we were talking about ECZ's decision to go on with the election on the 21st of October. Many people have actually spoken out about this. Our colleagues, learned colleagues, Patrick, on social media blogs, they've posted on their walls. These are people that we know personally, and their opinions really matter a lot, and they come from an informed perspective. Others actually say the ECZ needs a cleanup, ECZ needs leadership, it has a leadership vacuum. No wonder such decisions are being made, you know. But then the other day, the acting chairperson, CEO, is it CEO chairperson, said there is no vacancy, regardless of having 3 positions out and empty at the moment. We have people that are acting in these positions, meaning there's no vacancy, and the commission is operating normally as it should operate. However, what begs the answers also is that we have a constitution in place. Mr. Shpenze clearly explained yesterday to say we have a constitution that states elections have to be held within 90 days. And our 90 days, I think, elapsed on the 21st of October, not so, the actual day itself. So it's either you hold the elections on the last day of the 90 days, or when you cross over, what are the implications? That is a question that he didn't really respond to accordingly. Yes. You know, because he kept on zigzagging. Maybe also he was a little bit confused, owing to the fact that we have a confused constitution, you know. Yeah. So really, also ECZ is trying to follow the constitution or the electoral code of holding the elections within 90 days. But again, when you look at the court processes that are going on, it cannot be a conclusive decision because we have pending issues on this matter. You know?
Yes.
It's unfair to people who may be given the opportunity to say, okay, you're eligible to contest. What happens thereafter? Meaning they will have to hold again fresh elections after that.
Yeah, you're right. Then, you know, Sharon, I think that brings me to the conversation we had on this breakfast show some time ago, where we looked at the justice system and its slow pace at which it dispenses justice. So I think that's one of the problems. I think the election was an emergency issue. So I think special measures should have been taken for me, whereby you can sit for, let's say, for 5 days sitting on this case.
Whoever
is presenting their case, they present. Whether their evidence they present, then let the judgment be passed within that period of time, so that you do not affect other constitutional matters. So
let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How are you?
Yes, I'm talking with you.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling you from Elizabeth.
All right, Elizabeth, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm talking. You talk about the PF going back to court.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
We know that the PF, they are the owners of this country. So what they did by putting Sambo and the other guys to stand on their ticket was wrong. They know that they are the ones who brought the confusion to put the vacancies. They again, they adopted them. Why did they adopt other people to stand on their tickets? You know, the people should not play with the country as if it's a toy or as if it's a cascade. They are wrong. I think it's not the lawyers who are supporting them. They know that they are wrong totally. Yes. Please, let's God help us. Because this is not the way you govern the country with hatred and hatred. It's not good to hate each other like that. Thank you, stay blessed.
Thank you, Madam Elizabeth, for your contribution. And you forgot to get excited over a lady.
No, I was excited.
What's happening?
Elijah was looking at me. I'm sure he expected that as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited, really. It's rare when you have women call. Please, can you have more women call on this show? We want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Truth is, we are the majority. So let's speak. Let's have a voice, you know.
Interesting views she brings that, but you know, it's about, that's the beauty about democracy. It's about tolerating the views you do not like.
Exactly.
From someone you might not like. And it doesn't matter which political party or which angle you are. Everyone else has an opinion. And on this platform, we make sure that all divergent views are accommodated, regardless of people's background. All that matters is that we are contributing towards national development or national progress.
Exactly. Let's speak this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine,
How are you, sir?
I'm Mr. Mbit calling you from Senanga.
All right.
Senanga.
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I just want to contribute over this issue of PF dragging the court. I think it's very surprising now. When you look at PF, it's just a party. You look at UPNG, it's a party. You look at that's an institution governing elections. Now, for PF to take issues to court, we are all forgetting that we are under the umbrella of the Constitution of Zambia, which is the supreme law of the land. Now, if even the judges and everyone else are supposed to abide by the Constitution of the land, rather than playing around with what they think is law, example law, protecting legality. I think the time is gone where we are now supposed to follow the rule and the law. In this case, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. In my opinion, in my humble application and submission, let the court finish up this case and then the election be conducted within the 90 days stipulated in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that perspective.
Thank you so much. Indeed, Patrick, like you were saying, there's need to speed up the process of disposing of cases before the court of law, especially in this matter.
It's an emergency,
It's an emergency. They didn't need to take their time on this because people needed to know whether they were eligible to contest. People needed to know if Isiza's decision actually was dependent on that, you know, in all sense, because you cannot say we're not holding fresh nominations. Suppose these people are told you were supposed to be on the ballot. What's going to happen?
Exactly.
2 days before the election.
And do you know the reason why we had the Constitutional Court?
to interpret such issues.
And in a speedy manner.
Yes.
That's why those courts came in. We have the Financial Crimes Court. Do you know why? Speedy delivery
of financial
crimes and everything.
Financial irregularities.
So I think some of these things, I think when they need agencies, you know, and just that I think our judicial system, I think, is just archaic. In countries like South Africa, you see, if a major case, let's say, for example, a case of abductors in our country, it needs to be beamed live.
Exactly.
People follow the proceedings and everything. But here, even if you remove a recorder in the court or you remove a watch, you'll be charged for contempt. So now, but if you go to countries like South Africa, these things have changed. You saw, for instance, Oscar Pistorius.
Even the Central Manual case that is still going on now.
So these cases, we need to start imagining the people who would be part of that court case, to listen. You just have to imagine them to say, now, okay, they want to be here. Let's give them so they watch on TV. You understand?
Whatever we are scared of, I don't understand.
So that way, even Parliament, for me, I am happy with the way Parliament has really evolved.
Yes.
You know, we don't miss anything from the National Assembly because we have Parliament TV. Every proceeding. So we cannot say, no, we don't know what our members of Parliament are doing and whatever, what they are wearing. We don't know how our member of Parliament is looking. We don't know if our member of Parliament even asks a question. You go to Parliament
to know. Saying, 5 years, what a shame. Anyway. Amai mkaboenda. Timwandani zina mtumira kuti. Ile mtumira baba nyama.
Atiandani zina.
Ile zina nganyekeka chiuwe.
So simuna mvere mushe vamene vachita va ICZ vamene vachita va PF nde point yanu ni kuti bwanji.
Ile na mvere wanamba balokuitaba. Baba tamurani ba ICZ tamene vachita ikili toripa. Chiwanganya ikalimu koti. Batile baba bapitilize kukota. So ite bantu bazanja taikana iyo. Basi zenda nenda tabatelo bine batmagoto waki kuti tabani. Basi na kuti pela.
All right. Thank you very much for your views.
Kanyama representing there.
Ziko Mamai.
All right, so Kanyama representing there, and the woman, the second woman to
get interested in political affairs, in national affairs.
Exactly.
Which is very interesting.
Very interesting and encouraging, actually. We want more women to speak out. Have your voice, because there's this notion that women are scared of commenting on political issues, commenting on governance issues.
Yes.
But we want to know, really. We want you to move out of the comfort zone and begin to speak what you want to see. You know, be the change that you want to see. Don't just be on the terraces. Please.
Exactly.
So you can still call us, you woman out there who's still procrastinating. The number is scrolling on your screen. Call us and talk to us on this very important matter that concerns all of us. Like I said yesterday, today it's in KABUSHI and KWACHA. Tomorrow it will be in Lusaka constituency. The other time it will be in another constituency. So really, let's all participate. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm alright in the heart.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Peter from North.
All right, Peter, go ahead.
Yes, for me, I want to speak on the training the Kabushi one.
Yes.
You know, according to my understanding, the election was supposed to be held within 90 days.
Correct.
So it's like the decision is the has done. They have done it they don't want to exceed the 90 days. Right? They need the constitution. And they are following the constitution. But they went to a court like this. But if they follow what the court says, they wait for what the court judgment. So that means the court will be telling the to break the rule. Okay? Because they mean not to follow what the know we are going to do the ballot paper. Then they are the way they make vote here. What's that? That's nonsense. So let's say if they continue, they are following the law. That's what the Constitution says. And like following back into the community United. So the Constitution committee from the weekend to judge the Yamato. So it's just a transfer already there. It's already in the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Mr. Peter, before you go,
Yes.
in an event that the outcome does not favor ECZ, in which finger sticker. In an event that the outcome from the courts does not favor ECZ, what do you think would happen?
It's okay. Okay, it means pushing the litigation election is fine. But in the meantime, let's follow what the Constitution says.
All right. Thank you so much, Ndola, representing there. And you as well can call in and give us your perspective. A number of issues, Patrick?
So because people do follow these issues. And even people now are applying themselves. You know, when we formulated this constitution, it's not the constitution of the judges.
No,
it's not the constitution of EPND,
it's
of the
Zambian
PF.
constitution.
It's a Zambian constitution, and everyone knows. And this issue,
it.
And this issue, Sharon, is a cross-cutting issue that is affecting more people, and people have a right to just air out their views to just say. But I think what is, like for instance, we had that other one saying. No, is it necessary for these people to continue holding us for a lump sum because they were not on the ballot? You know, that's their opinion. And Peter from Ndola there is giving us a perspective to say ECZ is just doing according things based on the provisions of the law to avoid being caught napping, Sharon, because ECZ there wants to make sure that within the 90 days they execute this election to avoid being found on the wrong side of the law. They are equally following what the Constitution says, because you know the 90 days period, Sharon, is guaranteed in the Constitution. So, but however, it does not stop anyone from challenging the position, and that's what the PF have done. But regardless of the position, so we are still getting your perspective, you two, to just get what you think about this issue. These are the developments that have been happening pertaining to the KABUSHI and KWACHA by-elections. Wow, at the moment as we talk, we would have been having members of parliament. Probably they would have even made their maiden speeches in parliament, because the elections were slotted for September 15th, and we are talking about October 21st, and it's quite some time now. And we still have issues pertaining to court cases.
We hope that the date doesn't change, but obviously, regardless of the whole situation, the election will have to go on the 21st of October. Then maybe hold another election if at all the outcome will be in favor of the people that are contesting these court decisions. So we will see. You know, in the spirit of not defiling the Constitution, as Mr. Chipenzi would like to say, you will not allow anyone to defile the Constitution. So I'm sure this is what ECZ is trying to avoid at all cost. And it reminds me of our Livingstone man who said, when they say you will not do this at all cost.
At the moment it's about at all cost. Yeah.
This is what it means, honestly, but for ECZ, they're trying to avoid breaking the law at all cost. Hence, setting the date for these elections to be the last day on which the 90 days actually falls on, which is 21st of October.
So, so also let's just assuming this story, Sharon, where a raging fire that almost swept us through Puma Feeding Station and Momana Pressure Results hostels on the Great East Road was successfully quenched by a combined team of officers from the Zambia Air Force, ZAF, and the local authority fire brigades. But before we go to that story, let's pick this call.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Peter calling from Kawama.
Peter calling from Chawama.
Kawama Kitwe.
Kawama Kitwe.
Okay, so we had another Peter from Ndola. Nice this morning. Please go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say my mind on this. I think that the UPND should just allow everyone to participate in the election, because we all say that they will govern legitimately the rule of law. So the issue of wanting to be on a poll will help to aspire to 2026. Yes, so I think this is the power.
What does the law, Mr. Peter?
What they are doing is very wrong.
Okay, can I ask you something, Mr. Peter? The constitution that you're mentioning, really, do you know and understand that it says elections are supposed to be held within 90 days?
90 days past, the case is still in court. So maybe we can just give them some more time and let
Come.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
oh, no, we lost
he just feels it's unfair to have an election.
Yeah, everyone else should be
allowed, and
that's
everyone else should be given an opportunity
feels.
to participate in these elections.
Yeah,
quite a contentious issue, Patrick, I must mention. So divergent views all over the country.
Yeah.
It's a plus for us, and we are happy that this platform is being used in a better way. People are able to speak out on what they think should be done. Really, we have got Kitwe, we've got Ndola,
Senanga.
We're still waiting for Livingstone, our usual caller.
Yes, he has to. Let's just try to zoom in that story, and we'll play back the story on the constitutional court pertaining to the issue where the PF has challenged the decision by the ECZ to proceed with the elections. So let's zoom in these two stories. We'll be back.
With only 10 days remaining till the people of KABUSHI and KWACHA constituency head to the polls, following a statement issued by the Electoral Commission of Zambia on the 11th of October 2022 that the by-elections will be held on the 21st of this month, the opposition Patriotic Front have gone back to the Constitutional Court challenging the decision. The party, through its Secretary General Nixon Chilangwa, says it is contempt of court for ECZ to set the date of the by-elections for the two constituencies because the three matters relating to KABUSHI and KWACHA posed before the courts of law have not been concluded yet. Yesterday, the Commission issued a statement announcing the date of the by-elections in the two respective constituencies, despite the matter being active in court. Now, in an affidavit in support of originating summons filed before the Constitutional Court by Mr. Chilangwa, he explains that after ECZ rejected the nomination papers of their two adopted candidate, former KABUSHI Member of Parliament Mr. Boma Lusambo and his counterpart, former KWACHA Member of Parliament Joseph Malanji, they proceeded to the Constitutional Court, where it was ruled that the nullification did not mean disqualification of a candidate. The party then proceeded to the High Court, where they sought, among other reliefs, that the court orders ECZ to accept the nomination papers of Mr. Malanji and Lusambo, which then saw the High Court suspend the by-elections, which were supposed to be held on the 15th of September 2022. However, before a verdict was delivered, the state rushed to the Court of Appeal, staying all the proceedings before the High Court. The party now seeks the court's ruling on why ECZ, who is also part of the various matters that are before court, would decide to proceed with the by-elections before the final determination of the matter. For now, the party puts its hope in the court as it continues to fight so as to see its two adopted candidates, Mr. Malanji and Lusambo, on the ballot papers. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Around 11 hours this morning, workers of Puma filling station went into panic mode after a fire erupted in the bushes that formed part of the fuel infrastructure's parameters. The fire, whose billowing smoke covered the Great East Road and the entire filling station, was coming from the burning grass just before Mumana Pleasure Resort. At Puma filling station along the Great East Road, as you can see behind me is a plume of smoke. And on people that are said to live up yonder there, it's quite a bushy area. are suspected to might have caused this fire that is actually threatening to actually spread across this particular filling station near Chainama. It's called Puma Filling Station. Filling station workers abandoned their workstations and drenched it with water to prevent the rapidly growing fire from spreading and engulfing the obviously highly flammable area. The Lusaka City Council Fire Brigade are actually arriving on the scene to beef up support to the Zambia Air Force Fire Brigade. As you can see the truck behind me there. The whole area was covered in smoke as officers from the Zambia Air Force battled the fire from spreading to the filling station. The smoke is actually so suffocating. As you can see, I've been told that tanks up there are actually containing fuel liquids, and the men and women from the Zambia Air Force behind me are trying to actually cut the fire from actually spreading. The officers bravely quenched the fire with hoses of jutting water before it could spread to the filling station and the nearby car showroom. The firefighters from the Lusaka City Council were advised that the fire had spread to the next Mumana Pleasure Resort, where they rushed. The hostels have been turned into boarding houses for medical students from the nearby Levi Mwanawasa University. Some students were on top of the hostel roof trying to stop the fire from spreading any further. They were joined by the local authority fire brigade, who stood between the wall fence and the fire. The raging fire had even entered the restaurant area of the premises, where students were already quenching it with bucketfuls of water. A caretaker of the hostels has accused some criminal elements who have been squatting in the nearby bush thicket of having started the inferno.
Well, the fire started from the filling station there under that big tree. Yeah. Now, because of the wind, then it spread to our place here.
Okay.
That's how the grass started out as got bent.
I'm being told some people live in the bushes there.
Yeah, there are some bushes in there. It's like they are cooking there. Now they left their pots after cooking there. That's how the fire started from that.
Do you see these individuals in the day?
In the day, they are not seen. In the day, they go where to do their own activities. Then in the night, it's like that's why they hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time that the fire is threatening this place and the filling station.
Yes.
Remember, was it in 2019?
Yeah, 2010 when we had this.
A medical student who had taken part in stopping the fire also gave an account.
By then, we start fetching water. Then after that, the fire, then from there, we used our initiative to start pulling some bucket of water that side.
By 11:30 hours, the fire had been managed, remaining with smoldering grasses. Tito Kalama, Camnet News.
Well, there you have it. Quite interesting story there. And the one which we are focusing on pertaining to where the PF was challenged the Electoral Commission of Zambia's decision to proceed with the KABUSHI and KWACHA constituency by-elections, and the other where we saw a fire incident near Mumana, at Mumana Pleasure Resorts near Puma Filling Station, just the nearby bush, got fire, and it could have been a disaster. I think that also now reflects on the importance of the fire department, Sharon, and they did a good job there. I think it's one of the success stories that we had of our firefighters. They need to be commended for just doing their job right.
Air Force firefighters, not LCC firefighters.
They did join. They did
join. Let's just put that on record. I'm not firing shots, but honestly,
but you fired one.
It's a man, and you could see how vigilant they were. You know, not abarambi basaka kuli na menshi ngabali ambokta pama bucket ya invalida pama students pali nishumuliro le ulienda. You know, and you can imagine water from a tap. But they came with Bowsers, you know.
Yeah, so quite an interesting story.
Quite an interesting story. Indeed, one of the few success stories where fire is quenched before anything else is destroyed, and we're happy that they were there to just do what they're supposed to do. But ACC, like you mentioned, not to actually put them barbed wire. They actually came on board as well and joined. In the actual sense, they were supposed to be the first ones to be on site. But let's see how it goes going forward. Maybe they will become very vigilant and swift as they can. However, this morning we are focusing on the story where the Patriotic Front Acting Secretary General has sued the Electoral Commission of Zambia for setting the date of election in KABUSHI and KWACHA constituencies in the Copper Belt to be the 21st of October 2022. Let's pick this call and have your views heard. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning, thank you. Moleto mina kuisa mayo. Mwana nishina. Bajude fituma konkanya hapo. Ushe ndeke ya mu KABUSHI constituency kubwana mkubwa. Okay, twatotela mkwai. All right, today I have 3 women. Yeah!
So, yeah, quite interesting views there from Ndeke, where we have Judith expressing her concern to say they are now tired and fatigued over this issue. I think it is really tiring. And you come from a general election and you start wondering over a by-election.
And you know, one year, truth be told, is that the consistent court appearances, this back and forth, this KABUSHI constituency, to be specific, has not had a representative for this past 1 year. It hasn't had, because there's been a lot of things that has been happening. You know, things like that. The parliament, he goes back, he does what? Like literally, he has not even represented his people.
But yeah, so
until the election was done. It took a very long time for the elections to be called off completely, you know, to be nullified completely, you know. It took a long time. I mean, it's not yet 3 months. But before that, there was this, no, this, no, that, no, this. Literally, people have no representation, and it's time to work.
I'm trying to think.
How many months, how many years from before elections? 3 years, 3 or 6 months, huh? Yeah.
I'm trying to think what is happening on the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, considering that the Member of Parliament is not
even there.
And has to nominate about 3 people.
Let's speak to scope. Hello, good morning. How are you? Kindly move away from where you are. Your line is not very clear. No. Oh, so you decided to hang up. Please call us back. We want your views to be heard. This is your platform, and this matter that we are discussing this morning is important to any one of us.
Yes.
You have a stake as a Zambian. The Republican Constitution is your product. It's your document, and therefore you need to have your say on whether it's being followed to the latter, or maybe we are supposed to bend a little to ensure that things are done. But then how long are we going to bend, and how many things are we going to bend on? It is called the supreme law of the land for a reason. We are supposed to follow whatever is contained in there.
Yes, so that's why I was explaining to say the Constituency Development Fund, we have the 25.7 million kwacha, and when the formation of the CDF committee, we have the Member of Parliament who is supposed to be the part of the team of the constituency CDF committee, and the MP is also mandated to nominate 3 people to be on that team. Now, how effective is the administration of the committee that there is no representation? So,
all right, we have this call. Hello, good morning. Fine, thank you. How are you? You are calling from? Are you getting that?
Not really. Wow, the line is very, very bad. Yeah.
Keep trying and get through to us. We want your views to be heard on this platform. Just as a reminder, in case you are joining us, you're watching the Camnet Breakfast, Policy and Politics. And this morning, we are focusing on the decision by the Patriotic Front, Acting Secretary General Nixon Chilangwa, to sue the Electoral Commission of Zambia over setting a date for the elections in KWACHA and KABUSHI on the 21st of October 2022. You were saying something, Patrick?
Yes, I was explaining to you, Shan, to say I think development has been hampered in those two constituencies, in that even their members of parliament, there's no member of parliament. So in the National Assembly, there's no one to speak for the people of KWACHA and KABUSHI constituency, in that there is no one who's going to help them to ensure that they are just effectively represented. So we are seeing that on this aspect, the people of these two constituencies have no representation, hence they have been affected. So let's try to get this call before I proceed with my thought there.
Just hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for your views.
He didn't even tell us his name and where he is coming from.
So overall, the people of these two constituencies have been affected in that they haven't had a representation. So that has really affected them, because a member of parliament has to make sure that they address they speak on behalf of the people regarding the challenges that they are facing, things that the central government needs to work on. It is the members of parliament who have to do that job. But at the moment, these two seats have not had a representation in the House, and that has affected the people of this locality. We've gotten the views, and others are saying, they are fatigued, they are tired. The election should have been held already. Quite a number of issues are coming up. We are seeing that the Electoral Commission of Zambia's decision was purely to make sure that they operate within the mandate of the Constitution, which stipulates the 90 days of holding the by-elections. Now, we also have the other aspects of the other arm of government, which is the judiciary. Also, we have pending court cases that are being addressed by the judiciary, and these cases are actually taking too long to be addressed. Probably they may even not be addressed prior to the elections. So it becomes a challenge now. But what do you do? I think now we have a challenge with our constitution and how matters are being dispensed. So it is no wonder we have been talking about issues pertaining to constitutional reforms. And I recall that we engaged Justice Minister Mulambo Wahimbe regarding President Hakainde Hichilema's sentiments, who echoed the need that constitutional reforms are vital to ensure that the constitution is made easy for interpretation and other things. So we have already seen traction when it comes to the law reforms in the country, where we have seen that, for instance, we are reviewing the penal code to ensure that it is modernized, because we have some clauses there that were formulated even before Zambia became independent, and that those are not responsive to the needs of the current justice system. We are also aware that reforms are ongoing pertaining to the Public Order Act, which is also a contentious issue, where the political parties especially and civil society organizations, including the media, have been affected, especially when it comes to the issues pertaining to assembly. And this Public Order Act, various stakeholders submitted to it, and we are going to see progress on that. But there's also another issue that we haven't attended to, and the government has to also give a categorical response pertaining to the addressing the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights was supposed to have been part of the 2016 Constitution. However, bundling it together with the 2016 Constitution also affected the process of enacting the Bill of Rights, Sharon. And quite a number of issues that have been advanced. The right to education, where government leaders were going to be held accountable, provided the Bill of Rights was going to be enacted. So others have been a review, Sharon, on that. It should be done now. If we do it alongside the general election, it becomes a political process.
It will fail. It becomes a political process. So people will not even believe in the process, because they'll think you want to use that in order to confuse them or to blanket their thoughts, so that they should start thinking, you know how the chiguza is?
Yes.
A blanket. So really, such decisions that require everybody's participation, they need to be done independently, and not let the election be an election, But I know obviously they were also looking at the cost implications that time, but it really didn't work. And the previous caller, Patrick, said, if it was Edgar Lungu, this election would have already been done. So what is he trying to say? He's trying to say probably there's interference from the powers that be, and maybe the pace at which things are being done, maybe the law enforcers are being waiting for instructions somewhere. We are not sure. However, the statement was very, very short, and he couldn't explain further what he meant by that statement, of what he said. However, you too can call in here as we are entering our dying minutes of the show, and give us your contribution. I think we have about 5 minutes with you on the show. Meantime, let me just remind you, we are talking about the Opposition Patriotic Front's decision to sue the Electoral Commission of Zambia. The day before yesterday, you may be aware, they issued a statement reminding the Zambian people, or notifying the Zambian people, that 21st October has been set as date for election. And this day, in case you are not aware, is the 90th day from the time that there was supposed to be election. So really, it's within the threshold of the 90 days. And could this be the reason why ECZ has rushed to make this decision? Couldn't they wait for the court processes that are in different courts to be concluded? Or should we come up with a separate law to support them extending the 90 days? All these things are what we want to hear from you about. We have another story that is coming from the courtroom, where a state witness has testified before the Economics Financial Crimes Court about how the Anti-Corruption Commission officers visited their department at Pakra requesting details of a company called AK General Supplies Limited. Ilunga Chitanta, an assistant inspector of Pakra, told Magistrate Irene Washimanga Wednesday that he gave the officers details about the said company, which included information about the directors. This is in a case in which former director of the Forestry Department, Ignatius Makumba, and his 6 co-accused have pleaded not guilty to 41 counts of attempting to illegally export containers of Mukula logs. Let's look at the story as we are delving into our dying minutes.
The illegal exporting of Mukula logs has been a topic of discussion for quite some time, which has seen the Anti-Corruption Commission make several arrests on individuals they suspect might be involved in the illegal activity. Among those arrested and currently being prosecuted before the courts of law is former director of the Forestry Department, Ignatius Makuba, and 6 others with 2 counts of abuse of authority of office and 39 counts of attempting to export Mukula logs, charges which they have denied before the courts of law. Wednesday morning, the Lusaka's magistrate under the Specialized Economic Financial Crimes Court heard testimony from an assistant inspector at Pakra of how SEC officers visited the institution requesting information of a company called SEK General Supply Limited. Ilunga Chitanta narrated how he retrieved a document called a computer printout from the e-Pakra system in relation to the earlier mentioned company. The document contained information of the company name, date of incorporation, and also contained information of who the directors and shareholders are and how many shares each shareholder has in a company. According to the allegations before court, former Industrial Development Corporation Group Chief Executive Officer Mateo Kaluba, Zambia Army Chief of Operation Brigadier General Y.S. Mlenga, former Director of the Forestry Department Ignatius Makuba, and former Executive Director in the Office of the President Special Division Nevas Njovu, regularize an attempting illegal export of 23 trucks in Chirundo border and 16 containers of the same Mukula logs through Kadama Muliro border, which were being transported by Axon Tembo of ACK General Supply Limited for export to China, but were intercepted. The offense is said to have taken place between the 1st and the 3rd of September 2021. At the time, the accused were members of the Central Joint Operations Committee. Other persons in this case are Gilbert Mulinga, a Zambia Army retiree, and Axon Tembo, a Lusaka businessman. According to a statement that was issued by the Anti-Corruption Commission, Mr. Kalua, on dates unknown but between the 1st of March 2020 and the 31st of March 2021, whilst acting together with other persons unknown, did abuse the authority of his office by directing Zambia Forestry and Forest Industrial Corporation, ZAFICO, to enter into a contract of sale dated the 16th of June 2021 in relation to Mukula tree logs without following procurement procedure. Trial continues tomorrow, the 13th of October 2022. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Kidney failure, a condition in which the kidneys lose their ability to remove waste and balance fluids, has become one of the leading causes of death in the world, and Zambia has not been spared. The increasing number of deaths due to the condition can be attributed to lack of resources by the patients, as the dialysis procedure is quite an expensive one. In an effort to provide medical cover for its clients, the National Health Insurance Management Authority NIMA, at a briefing held in Lusaka Wednesday, says it has reviewed the benefit package and will now cover local kidney transplant procedures.
NIMA has also reviewed the benefit package and will now cover local kidney transplant procedures. The scheme is currently financing renal hemodialysis procedures for approximately 162 patients from 9 healthcare facilities, 2 of which are from the private sector. In 2021, 1,885 dialysis cycles were approved and conducted at the total cost of 2.8 million.
The authority was, however, quick to mention that it does not cover for radiotherapy for cancer patients, as the procedure is too expensive, but says considerations are being made for the future.
Now, I hasten to add that NIMA does not cover radiotherapy. NIMA does not cover radiotherapy. And I think this is one area, looking at the area of cost, is a matter that we are exploring, but in light of the fact that we must match contributions to the package, it is part of the considerations of the actuarial investments.
Additionally, the authority says it has collected approximately 479 million kwacha in contributions from January to June 2022, but says the authority is exploring alternative revenue streams through the National Health Insurance Scheme, as well as effective strategies to strengthen its collection from the contributory revenue streams.
Compliance rates. We're looking at increasing the rate of compliance of those members that are actually contributing into the pool. And we are doing this by employing inspectors who support our relationship managers to engage our members to be able to pay. Because it's a risk pooling mechanism, it's every member pays their contribution into the pool.
Basically, we do realize that there has been a challenge in this regard, and we have started engaging ZAMSA, who actually have the mandate on the provision of drugs in these health care providers.
14 vehicles amounting to 8.5 million kwacha has also been acquired to help with easy movement in the delivery of services to the people of Zambia. The use of technology to improve service delivery to customers has also been enhanced, and the authority says it looks to grow in the scheme by ensuring that those in the informal sector are also brought on board. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. We are happy that you could manage to be with us up to this time when we are about to say our goodbyes. We were just assuming in the last stories of the day, and we want to thank you for finding time to call in on the program. We value your contribution and support, and always remember that Camnet TV, as your #1 community TV station, our focus is on you, our dear viewers, our members of the general public. Matters that affect you are our priority, and we hope you address them as we interface with policy makers and duty bearers.
Indeed, Patrick, to our viewers, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV as your daily breakfast show, and keeping you abreast with what's happening in your life, actually your country, to set the tone of what the day will be. We'll be looking at many interesting stories. Remember to join us for our main news at 19:30 and our midday news at 12:30 in case you missed our 12 hours really, in case you missed some of the stories that you want to go back and see. Just as a reminder, once more, we stream our live programs. In case you miss it, you can still go back and watch via our social media platforms. Otherwise, we talked about how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles. We looked at the health corner and some of the stories that made headlines. Otherwise, that's where we wrap it up this morning. Thank you so much. Join Prudence Chota tomorrow on the Business for Breakfast. Obviously, she will also be looking at the Auditor General's report that was released yesterday. She'll be looking at some of the financial irregularities. She loves figures, and figures really, I'm not going to use that word, but I'll use it after we go off the screen, Patrick. She loves figures, I'll end there. She loves figures, and she will be talking about that. Thank you so much. Good morning.